has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner. What does that mean? If there were 10 lepers who were cleansed, and one of them returned and gave praise to God, and that one was a foreigner, a Samaritan, what does that mean about the ethnicity of the other 9? They're Jewish. The other 9 are from Jesus' nation, from his people group. They are Jews. They are like people who grew up in church. They're people who grew up believing the right things. They're people who grew up serving God in lots of different ways, probably setting up synagogue every Saturday, making sure there was coffee there for people, cleaning up. Okay, there wasn't coffee in those days, but you get my point. Cleaning up, right? Visiting the sick, praying for people, reading the Bible, memorizing the Bible. The other 9 are people who grew up doing a whole bunch of stuff for God, just like many of us here. And then what happened to them? They got leprosy. How do you think they felt after all that? We know exactly how they felt. They felt like it wasn't fair. They were the chosen people. They were the ones loved by God. They were the believers, and God gave them a raw deal. Why would he allow these believers to have leprosy? After they'd served God, after they'd suffered so much, the other nations around them oppressing them, after all, then God allows them to get leprosy? This is worse. This is just injury to insult. This is the worst. They actually felt like God had done them wrong. Like God owed them a different kind of life. God, you owe me more. I've done all this good stuff for you. You owe me more than you've given me. You owe me to heal me, to not allow me to just live in leprosy and die like this. Now, Jesus has told a very famous parable. If we go back 7 chapters before this in Luke chapter 10, he told a very famous parable about this exact same thing, right? The parable of the lost son or the prodigal son. And that parable is all about exactly this. That the nation of Israel, they've been serving God and they are entitled. Because they've been serving God in some ways, as best they can, they think God owes them something. And Jesus' big, huge point here is that attitude actually keeps them from entering the life that he's prepared for them.